James. Ooh, ah, I wanna know if you'll stay at Rovers. Absolutely brilliant game today. Portsmouth 0, Rovers 1. 3 points on the board, baby darling. 3 points. What a game. What a great game. It was very important to get the win today. I predicted I think 2-0. And we got the 1-0. You know, people can say 1-0 to the Rovers, whatever. I think it was still a good result today. Reece James. Whoo! That was, you know what, to be fair, and, you know, if you guys saw the lineup, you'll know why I was kind of worried on paper. I was like, Reece James is a left midfielder when we've got Sims on the bench? Yeah, I'm not too sure. But, you know what, Reece James is a left midfielder. What a performance. And I know that Reece James was good going forward, so I knew that would be the best part of his game. But even in the first half, absolutely on it, and was just so commanding on that left-hand side. And I think the story of this game was pretty much, we dominated about 30-35 minutes of the first half. Portsmouth got back in their stride, we eased off the pressure and we let them back into it with a couple of chances. And then Portsmouth put on the pressure. Second half, good start by Portsmouth, we eased back into it, and then we scored the goal and we got the confidence from that. Just wow. Just absolutely wow. Let's give pressure. And you know what, to be fair, I think the big thing with Rovers is we weathered the storm. Especially with the Portsmouth pressure. We weathered the storm big time. Still some mistakes in... we're not going to say it's a perfect performance. There were still some mistakes, realistically. You know, passes going astray. And that was the big problem for me, especially in the first half, or towards the end of the first half and towards the start of the second half, is stray passes that weren't going to the right people. And then we brought Richards and Sims on. Now, if any of you have a problem with Josh Sims or Taylor Richards, you don't know anything about football. Taylor Richards, as soon as he came on, look at the difference in the midfield. You had Gomez and Whiteman, right, behind Richards, and then Richards, I think, slipped, you know, into that role, and then when Matt Smith came on for the added time. And, you know, it was very much, Richards had the physicality, brought a brand new sense of physicality that Coppinger had, that Taylor had, and then when they started to tire out, there was a brand new physicality coming in from Taylor Richards. And, you know, and that was so clear from the off. Josh Sims, there is a reason why we signed this guy. He looked amazing today, and he provided the assist for the goal as well. What? He's a battler. I could find him as the highest rated character on that fighting game, Deadliest Warrior. He is an absolute battle monster. He will literally put a tackle in and win the ball back, and that's exactly what he did for the goal, and then provided the assisting cross. And James, oh my god, that was sweeter than Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. That was a sweet, sweet strike. And, you know, Reece James gets the goal he so deserved today. If there was anyone that deserved a goal, it was Reece James. And there's one other person that I want to give a special shout out to, Fajiri Okunabiri. Now, I have my worries about Fajiri Okunabiri after the past couple of games. He was looking slack. He wasn't looking, you know, very good. He, you know, in the Wigan match, in the Oldham match. But I'll give my credit to Fajiri Okunabiri today. He worked hard. He got in. He got the best chance of the first half for both sides. He got in there, he got involved, and it was a good performance from Fajiri Okunabiri. So I'll give him credit for that. And to be fair, we did have John Jules. So apart from, you know, because Tulloch's injured, John Jules has got a slight knock from the England duty. We don't have another out-and-out forward. Fajiri Okunabiri, he will start in the next game. But I think it was clear from the off there why, you know, there is positivity still around Fajiri Okunabiri. And he proved today how hard he can work. And he put away... he didn't score anything today, but he did put some good chances into good perspectives. Especially, like I said, best chance of the first half. Put some good work to that Portsmouth keeper, Craig McGillivray. So overall, like we said, we weathered the storm. We got the chances, and we put a sweet strike away. Like I said, it was sweeter than Cadbury's chocolate factory, let alone Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. But Reece James, what a performance from him, and what a performance from the whole team as well. Joe Bursick, how good is that guy in goal? How good is that guy in goal? But like I said, there were still mistakes. Stray passes, giving the ball away too often, losing it in possession, especially in the second half when Portsmouth dominated the first part of the second half. And Cameron John's not a left back, you know, and I hope he plays in centre back at some point. But I think there was a little bit of a worry with Joe Wright in the second half with that little collarbone thing. He sort of felt it, went off temporarily for a bit, you know, wrapped it around a bit and went back on. So it looks like he's all right, but they could be cautious about him next time in the next game. But overall, I'm very happy with that performance. So let's get on with my player ratings. So we've got to kick straight off with Joseph Bursick. I am giving that son of a gun a 9. Now you're probably thinking why. He made save after save after save after save after save. And even when, and there was a specific moment at the end of the second half, he made the save, he sort of patted it out, he got on the floor and he got straight back up and just used his right leg to tap it away for another corner. His reflections and his reflexes are just pure perfection. And we've got a great goalkeeper on our hands. So Bursick is truly the #1 goalkeeper this season, and he's proved it today. Brad Halliday, I'm going to give him a... I was thinking of giving him a 7, but you know what? I'm going to go and be generous. I'm going to give him an 8. I think Brad Halliday was great. He was working hard, very good work rate today, and just did really well on that right-hand side. Joe Wright, I'm going to give him a 7. I think he wasn't too bad today. I think he was decent. We didn't concede any goals. First clean sheet of the season. And Bursick will be happy about that. And, you know, Joe Wright got a yellow card. You know, it was a yellow card in my opinion. I'm going to speak about one particular incident, though, after my player ratings. And you probably know what it is. It's the penalty incident. Stay with me. But Joe Wright, going back on Joe Wright, I think it was a decent performance today. Clean sheet, didn't concede any goals, but there were a few errors in there, but not too much to shout about. Tom Anderson, again, 7, same really, not much really to deal. Well, obviously a lot to deal with, but obviously there's a clean sheet, so there's nothing really to scream and shout about. But Anderson did put in some good defensive work at points today, but he did foul a little bit. So, you know, again, just a decent performance. Cameron John at left back, you know what, I was worried going into it, but I'm going to give him a 7. I think, especially in the second half, I think at times in the first half, especially during Pompey's pressure, John kept giving the ball away a lot, and then in the second half, it's like he flipped a switch, and he turned into the Cameron John we know and love, and why we signed him on a permanent deal. And he did well at left back. I'm not saying stick with him at left back, even though Reece James did well at left mid. Don't put him at left back, because I think he's better at centre back. But if you can do the job at left back, he can do the job. Magic Gomez, I'm going to give him a 7 as well. I think he did move the ball about. First half, there were a couple of stray passes, but he did work hard, especially in the second half, and he did do really well in the end. Ben Whiteman, I'm going to give that guy a very good looking 7. I think that, again, stray passes in the first half, but the second half, definitely think that he improved along with the rest of the team. John Taylor, I'm going to give him a 7 as well. I'm going to give him a 7 because he did put in some pacey runs, but he did give the ball away a lot. So it's not really a high 7, it's like a low 7 going into the 6s nearly. But I think that there were times where he did pass it to the opposition and he gave it away, but I think he can do better than that. But overall, not a bad performance. Not bad, but just alright. Coppinger, 7. I think his work rate was amazing today before he came off, and I think overall, I think he was fantastic today. His technical ability to keep battling away. There's a reason why he's a club legend, and he showed that today. So really well done from Coppinger. Reece James gets an 8 from me. He was absolutely brilliant today. Absolutely brilliant. On paper, you wouldn't see him as a left mid, you'd see him as a left back or a left wing back. Today, Reece James proved exactly why he's versatile at the front, and he can do so good at the front. But I would now like to see Sims play there. And I'll talk about Sims in a bit. But I think that Reece James should go back at left back. Maybe he's an attacking left back option, and Halliday is an attacking right back option. But I think overall, Reece James did very, very good on the front line today. And then for Jerry Okunabiri, I'm going to give that guy a 7 as well. I'm going to say a 7 because I think he did put in a good work rate, even though none of the chances he tried to put away didn't go in. Now on to the subs bench. Now, first of all, 63rd minute, John Taylor out for Josh Sims. Josh Sims gets a 7 for me, provided the assist. Great work all around. Didn't stop battling. Deadliest warrior, street fighter, Tekken, Soul Calibur. He was a complete warrior like you see on those fighting games. Absolute battler and a great performance. Now I want to see him start. Taylor Richards replacing Coppinger. I'm going to give him a 7 as well. Great physicality. Brought something completely different to that midfield when he came on the field in the second half. And I thought Richards overall did very, very well. And Matt Smith didn't do too much to shout about. Got a couple of touches, but overall not too much to shout about. So I'm going to give him an average 6. But that is because you know, there wasn't too much to shout about from him in added time, but I'd like to see him maybe get a start. But how do you start again in that team with Richards coming on and doing really well, Gomez and Whiteman doing really well? So it should be interesting with that one to see how, you know, Moore decides to line up maybe, because I'm very excited to see if he is going to start Smith next time. And of course, don't forget the next game is on Tuesday the 20th of October against Ipswich Town, and I'm going to tell you all what I think we need to do for that game right about now. So before I get into talking about what we need to do for Ipswich, to sort of summarise this video, there's one incident we need to discuss, isn't it? The penalty, the beloved penalty the referee couldn't give because he's an idiot. I watched the full game and I watched that back. They showed a replay of the incident from a couple of different angles and I watched that back. It is a penalty. If that was VAR, that would have given that a penalty, but, you know, we would have been known as Doncaster Rovers, which, to be honest, isn't a good look for us. And, you know, but that's where VAR could have come in handy. And, you know, it should have been a penalty. It should have been a penalty. It might not have been deliberate handball, but the new handball rules with VAR would have said it's a penalty. But, wait, what could he do? We still won anyway. It's not going to, you know, disrupt anything. But I did think it was a penalty, and the referee, I don't know what he was doing with that. I think it was a penalty. Absolutely struck the arm, clear and obvious. No arguments about it. No two ways about it. But great performance all around by the team anyway. Josh Sims, brilliant debut. Matt Smith, I hope he gets more minutes because I think he could show a lot more. He did get a couple of touches and he did provide some great attacking work when he came straight on. So, you know, good pressure from him. But Josh Sims, great debut in the second half. Provided the assist for a great goal by Reece James and overall just brilliant. So, good performances from the debuts overall. What do we need to do against an Ipswich side that's near enough top of the table? We need to put a lot more pressure on because we eased Portsmouth into the game at times and that allowed them to pressure us even more. So we do need to provide some more pressure to Portsmouth's backline. But, you know, against the Ipswich backline, hopefully we can press against them and hopefully we can get a good result against them. So that'll be on Tuesday. So there will be a preview coming on Monday. Next week for the Ipswich game, because of course we've got a very, very tight schedule coming up. But yes, Tuesday Ipswich kick-off. It's 7 o'clock, I believe, so there will be a late night match review on that Tuesday. But for now, I'm satisfied. I can get a beer out the fridge and I can just relax for a couple of days. And for now, guys, I am the CHALL, your Doncaster Rovers fan for the latest footballing content. I'm going to stay tuned and watch Arsenal face Manchester City and then Newcastle beat Manchester United later on tonight. And for now, have a nice day. Come on, you Rovers. Another 3 points.